Okay, class, moving on to 10.2. Now we're going to spend 2 different days on 10.2, so today and tomorrow there will be 2 videos. I'm going to split it up because I don't want to confuse you. This is the product of powers property. Now there's actually 3 properties that I'm going to discuss on today's video. And then tomorrow we'll move into simplifying expressions using these properties. But let me explain to you what they are. So you have to think about the words that are used. So for example, product of powers property. Product, we know, means multiplication. Power, we know that that means you're going to have a base and an exponent. Okay, so the first one I am going to talk about is the product of powers property. And what that is saying is when you multiply powers that have the same base, you add their exponents. Okay, so for example, if I have 4 squared times 4 to the 3rd power, or 4 cubed, they have the same base. This property only works when the powers have the same base. So I have 4 squared times 4 cubed, and what I said was when you are multiplying powers with the same base, you add their exponents. So you keep the base and then you add their exponents. So 2 plus 3, which then equals 4 to the 5th power. So anytime you see an expression that is a multiplication problem, this only works for multiplication, not addition or subtraction or division, only multiplication, you would just keep the base and add their exponents. And so again, depending on what the question is asking, so if they asked you to simplify this expression and that was it, you would actually solve this. So you would come over here and you'd see that it is 4 to the 5th power, and then you would actually write what is 4 to the 5th power equal. So 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. If the question says simplify the expression but write your answer as a power, then this is what your answer would be, written as a power. Okay? So that is the product of powers property. Now moving on, we have the product of a power property. So again, oh, I actually wrote this wrong. Let me change this, guys. I'm very sorry. I hope you didn't already write it down. If you did, my apologies. This is power of a power property. All right, that is the right thing. So we did product of a power property. Now we're doing power of a power property. So what this is going to indicate is if we have, for example, 4 to the power of 6 in parentheses, and that whole thing raised to the power of 3. Okay, so we know that the exponent is indicating multiplication here. When you have numbers or exponents inside parentheses with a power or with an exponent outside the parentheses, then instead of adding, you are actually multiplying now. Power of a power property, you multiply the exponents. Okay? So you would actually write this as 4, 6 times 3, which equals 4 to the 18th power. power of a power property. You multiply the exponents. Okay? The last one is power of a product property. I promise you, try not to confuse you with these different terms. I know they're just kind of switching the words around. The first one was product of a power. Now we're on power of a product. Okay, so they're saying power of a multiplication problem. So if I had 3 times 2 in parentheses to the power of 5, do you agree that this right here is a product? Yes, because it is a multiplication problem. And we're doing a power of a product. Okay? So when you have a situation like this, if you have, and this includes variables too. Now if you have 3 times 2 to the power of 5 like I have here, or let's say you had x times 2 to the power of 5, you would, this power of 5 is going to distribute to everything that's inside the parentheses. So it's going to equal 3 to the 5th power times 2 to the 5th power. All I did was distribute that power into everything that's on that or inside that parentheses. Now, that's as far as I can go. I cannot simplify that any further if I was asked to write that as a power, because these are not the same base. Okay, so this is it. This is the final answer for this one, unless, of course, it wants you to actually solve it. But the directions will be very specific on your assignments. So it is very important that you do read those directions. So for your assignment today, you will only be needing to simplify the expressions by and keeping your answer as a power. So I believe you only have 6 problems to do today. You're going to be using these 3 properties, and your answers all should be written as a power. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.